Let's continue. We continue by recognizing outstanding achievement in journalism that had a positive impact on community. The American Legion Fourth Estate Award is difficult to earn, it truly is. It's a testament to the demanding nature of the competition and the quality of entries. Not only do the reports have to be informative and entertaining, they also have to provide a tangible benefit to society. Our Fourth Estate winner for broadcast is a previous winner in its series, Broken Promises. Minnesota NBC affiliate, KARE, investigated the high rate of denials veterans receive while applying for benefits after being examined by one particular neurologist at the VA Medical Center in Tomah, Wisconsin. Please turn your attention to the video monitors for a clip of this revealing expose.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin with a major announcement and an apology today out of our nation's capital in response to a KARE-11 investigation. That investigation exposed how a VA doctor had misdiagnosed veterans for decades.
AJ Lagoe joins us tonight. And AJ, we understand hundreds of veterans are going to be given new exams because of this.
That's right, 650 veterans. Wow. And for some, this is a victory in a decade-plus long battle just to get the medical care and benefits they earned with their service.
At this VA hospital in Tomah, Wisconsin, our investigation found a story hidden.
And the story needs to be told.
Whistleblower warnings ignored.
When a problem is identified, it has to be addressed. This problem has been identified for quite some time, and it's never been addressed.
Veterans misdiagnosed.
I was in it for less than 20 minutes. She determined with the medical that I didn't have a TBI. My jaw dropped.
What'd she say about your Parkinson's?
I didn't have any Parkinson's.
Access to neurological testing refused.
Tomah VA turned me down, told me to kick rocks.
Hundreds denied benefits.
Denied.
All after seeing the same VA doctor.
And her name is Mary Jo Lanska.
Dr. Lanska.
Dr. Mary Jo Lanska.
Dr. Lanska, I'd like to ask you some questions about all the veterans that you've been misdiagnosing.
Is there any sense of how many men and women this could impact?
That's a question that I've asked myself for years.
And we now have that answer. The VA issuing an official apology today as Secretary Dennis McDonough announced to right this injustice, he's giving new exams and potentially years of backdated benefits to 649 veterans. For the veterans who have died, their survivors are being contacted to reopen those claims as well.
You've been working on this for a long, long time. How did this all get started?
It got started when one veteran, his name is Brandon Winishek, reached out and shared his story. Brandon, your story has made a difference for a whole lot of people. Wow. And I should know, we spend a lot of time calling out government officials for not doing their job. I'd be remiss not to mention Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin and her team's dedication really to holding the VA accountable to make this right.
Yeah, an excellent job by you and
Absolutely.
the investigative team, AJ.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome investigative reporter AJ Lagoe.
Good morning. Well, thank you, American Legion, for this honor and your long-standing recognition of the vital role that journalism plays in this great nation we all love. It's an incredible honor to stand up here before you today for the second time in my career as the recipient of the American Legion Fourth Estate Award, this time for our investigation, Broken Promises. Investigative journalism is more than just uncovering facts. It's about giving voice to the voiceless, seeking justice for those who've been wronged, and holding the powerful accountable. Or as my World War II grandfather would say, give them hell, boy. As my Baptist pastor father would say, quoting the Old Testament book of Micah, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and love mercy and walk humbly with your God? I'm still working on the humble part. Broken Promises was a story that at its heart was about giving voice to and seeking justice for people, veterans, who had been ignored, turned away, failed by the very system that promised to care for them. It started with one man's story, an Iraq War Marine who I think my grandfather, Mr. Give 'em Hell, would have really liked. Brandon Winishek shared how he'd been misdiagnosed and straight up denied access to the testing for traumatic brain injury, despite surviving multiple IED blasts in Ramadi, Iraq. Brandon was in the 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, or as he liked to say, the Magnificent Bastards, that in Ramadi had 34 killed and 270 more injured. Brandon came home changed. He was battling invisible wounds, but physical wounds nonetheless. He said, if this happened to me, I guarantee it's happening to others, and it's not right. Will you help me end it? It took 2 years of reporting, but this journalism and its results wouldn't have happened without Brandon, a Marine without an ounce of quit in him. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the whistleblowers who spoke up to expose the truth, that veterans who turned to the Tomah VA were all too often having their neurological conditions dismissed without even basic testing. To Wisconsin Veteran Service Officer Jeff Hine, who said, I thought investigative journalism was dead. You showed me I was wrong. His words remind me of why we do what we do. And to all the veterans who trusted us with their stories, thank you for your courage. Abby Siakper, Kelvin Catone, David Kazmarek, Logan Becker, Steve Rhodes, Zach Screedy, your stories made a difference. The results, 649 veterans receiving new neurological testing, treatment, backdated benefits. That's a testament to the power of journalism to bring about real change in our communities. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Dennis McDonough personally called me one morning just to say, thank you for holding us accountable to be our better angels. I get to work with an amazing team, executive producer Steve Eckert, photojournalists Gary Knox, Ron Stover, and Devin Krinke, my incredible boss Stacy Nogi, who didn't blink when I kept driving to another state way outside of our coverage area. Tomah's about a 7-hour round trip from Minneapolis. And we were doing this simply because we knew if we didn't tell this story, no one would. Thank you, American Legion, for this profound honor. We're deeply humbled and will carry this recognition with us as we continue our work, telling stories that matter, holding those in power accountable, and along the way doing justice, showing mercy, and well, maybe just a little bit of giving them help. Thank you.
Last year, football fans were horrified when Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin's heart stopped beating during a nationally televised game. While his life was saved because of the rapid emergency response, too often these tragedies occur at high schools and other fields of play which are unprepared. The Courier-Journal of Louisville, Kentucky is being recognized for its series, Safer Sidelines. Let's take a look at that outstanding work.
Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Shock advised.
King County 911.
I have a young man that is on the ground, having trouble breathing.
Press the flashing shock button. Shock delivered. Begin CPR. A parent is not supposed to watch their child die in front of them. A parent is not supposed to have to bury their child.
Three families that we know about in Kentucky have suffered grievous losses of their sons because an AED was either not available or not accessible.
We do have a gentleman here checking the pulse rate at this moment.
Okay, can I speak to somebody else?
Yes.
A few months into reporting Safer Sidelines on January 2nd, 2023, Damar Hamlin collapsed, and the nation saw firsthand what it looks like when an athlete collapses on a field or a sideline. The thing is, with Damar, he had, best case scenario, 27 medical professionals and life-saving devices on his sideline, and that's not the case for most high schools across America.
But now that everybody's seen what it takes and you know, that it can happen to anyone, at a moment's notice, you know, you need to be prepared, because it's not if it's going to happen, it's going to be when it happens. It's going to be when it happens.
We started realizing that there were a lot of headlines of athletes collapsing, so we started compiling them into the first public database of sudden death in sport. And that database has more than 1,700 athletes in it, and 73% of those are high school athletes.
It was really gratifying and kind of shocking the way that Safer Sidelines was received locally and across the country. The CEO of the Corey Stringer Institute called it the most significant, impactful journalistic contribution to the safety of high school sidelines ever. The project's findings have already been presented in sports medicine conferences and symposiums across the country. And we hope that that impact can continue by raising awareness of the lack of gold standard level safety on high school sidelines across the country.
Very good. And so, family, please welcome the lead reporter for our 4th estate winner for print journalism, Stephanie Kuzydym.
I'm not as good at lights and a mic as AJ is. I apologize for that. I usually sit behind a desk. Thank you to the American Legion. What you saw highlighted in that video is not just a problem in Kentucky, it's a nationwide problem. And to be in a room with people from all across the country and be able to show you more about our journalism and our work means the world to me. I started this investigation, researching it about 9 years ago. And when AJ says that investigative journalism is a voice for the voiceless, it truly is. One of the mottos I carry with me while I've been reporting on this is to speak for them. These are athletes that are no longer with us that can't say that they were overheating because they got too hot and their dysfunction or their cognitive function started dysfunctioning. And the truth is that this is still happening today. The last athlete to collapse and die in America was on Tuesday in Tennessee. And in the last 20 days, 10 athletes have collapsed and died, 9 high schoolers and 1 middle schooler. And they're happening in your departments too. So there have been 2 in Alabama, 2 in Florida, 1 in West Virginia, Kansas, Texas, Maryland, and Virginia, all just in August. So Who here loves an athlete? Exactly. We're trying to reach 100,000 parents, and I need your help. So if you could Google Safer Sidelines, the very first link that's gonna come up. And if you can send that to the parent, the guardian, the coach, the athletic director of that athlete that you love, and just put this information, the risk is real, and the solution is really simple. Like the video said, Damar Hamlin had 27 medical professionals on his sideline, all the way down to an airway specialist. That isn't the case in high schools across America. They're very lucky if they have an athletic trainer who is seen as the healthcare professional of the sideline. Only 34% of high schools nationally have access to an athletic trainer full-time. So we're just trying to raise awareness through this, and again, just wanted to say thank you so much to the American Legion for recognizing this work. Thank you.